Tak a já myslím, že se nám to spustilo a budeme moct začít. Ukažte. Vypadá to, že jo. All right. So hello, everyone. If you're in the Czech Republic, good afternoon, everyone. Today I have a special guest here, Emily Hackett, and together we will introduce you a topic of study international relations in the United States. I would like to introduce Education USA, which is a network that I work for. So Education USA is basically for everyone in the Czech Republic, and we can definitely go to the next slide, Emily, please. And I am very happy to work with students who are interested in studying in the United States. You can definitely come to me for an advice, for asking me questions. I'll be happy to provide some free and unbiased information. And Education USA is based in Prague in the Fulbright Commission in the Czech Republic. So if you feel like you would like to meet with me in person, that's definitely possible as well. And as for our services, you can find us, and that's going to be on the next slide as well here. So I'm based in Prague in the Fulbright Commission, but you can also find our advising centers and American centers all around the Czech Republic. So there is one in Plzeň, then in Ústí, Brno, Ostrava, and Olomouc. So if you feel that you would like to be in closer touch with American culture or borrow a book, so you can definitely visit those American centers that usually have libraries. And there is also a person who can advise you if you have any questions, or you can reach out to me via email under advisor@fulbright.cz, and I'll be happy to answer all of your questions. And what do we offer in our centers? It's mostly those live streams that you are a part of right now. So there are different topics. Sometimes we also do webinars. So there will be one next week on college essay writing with Ondřej Gonzor, who currently studies at the University of Pennsylvania. So you can join our webinar as well. We have libraries, so you can visit and borrow some books, maybe for SATs or ACT preparation. We also have GRE preparation books. And then we offer consultations. They can be in person or online. And I'm happy to just connect with you and answer any questions you might have. If you're also serious about applying to the United States, because the time is now, if you are, in the third grade of high school, and if you're in the fourth grade, there is still time. I would suggest subscribing to our newsletter, which I put together once a month, and there is this QR code that you can just scan, and it will show you how to register. Because in the newsletter, you will find information about our, like what are the deadlines and what are the scholarships that universities and colleges and schools offer, and what are some information, regarding studying in the US. So I would suggest that, or simply follow us on social media. So you will find us there under Education USA Czech. And I post every day, and you will learn about our webinars, our live streams, our alumni students who are currently studying in the United States. So I'm happy to connect you with them. Also, Emily did a one-day takeover of our social media. So you could see Connecticut College where she studies, and she showed you all the rooms and like the library and where she lives. So this is a nice way to get to know the campuses and the places where you can study as well. And now I'm going to turn it over to Emily. She does speak Czech. So if you guys have questions later and you don't feel like asking them in English, please feel free to type them in English or in Czech in the comments underneath the live stream, and either Emily or myself will definitely respond.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So hello, my name is Emily Hackett. I study at Connecticut College. I'm currently in my last year, so I'm a senior. And I study international relations, which I know a lot of students applying to the US, at least that's what Hanyu told me, are interested in international relations. So that's sort of why we're talking about it today. I also, my second major is in Slavic studies. So I study Russian, and obviously I know another Slavic language, Czech, and I also study German as a minor. I'm in a center, and I'll explain later what that is for international studies in the liberal arts, which is also related to international relations. And as part of my college experience, I had the privilege of studying abroad in Kyiv, Ukraine in the fall of 2021. And this past summer, also supported by my college, I actually did an internship in Prague at the Czech National Agency for International Education, which is where I met Hanyi and was able to come into Education USA Advising Center, and that's, start collaborating. So I'm really glad for that experience as well.
That's really amazing. Like, you are studying in the United States, and everybody who is watching us, you can see like how many international visits she already made, and she was supported by Connecticut College. So
right.
It's not that you would only go to the United States and be stuck there, but there is still options for you to travel all over the place.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's definitely when you're picking a college, so you can sort of see how much they value international experiences. And one of the reasons I chose Connecticut College is because they really did value languages and international experiences, but I'll talk more about that later as well. So I'll start off by sort of, for those of you who don't know, sort of talking about the US bachelor's degree in general. So it's 4 years. I'm in my last year, obviously, and it's very, it's like a holistic approach is what people call it, because in the Czech Republic, very often for most schools, you actually have to pick what you want to what you want to study from the very beginning. And it's a little different at most colleges in the US. So you don't necessarily have to pick, like in your first year, you sort of get to explore, and they really encourage you to sort of try a lot of different things, because you might not know at that age coming right out of high school what you want to do, which is totally understandable. And this gives you an opportunity to really find something that you're super interested and passionate about, which helps with then studying and all that. So there's obviously sort of requirements. Like my college has a world language requirement. We also have to fulfill different subjects that like sort of math related, science related, but there's a lot of different ways to fulfill that. So one of mine was like logical reasoning is which is technically could be math, which like a lot of math classes fulfill, but I took a linguistics class instead. So like looking at language and how it works in different sentences, and that fulfilled my math requirement. So it's really flexible, which is really nice if you're sort of still trying to find what you want to be doing in life or later on in your career.
Yeah, I really think that this is amazing, because many people don't know what to study after high school. And this holistic approach opportunity for them, and holistic approach schools in the United States actually gives them more time to try out the college level courses and still have time to decide. Whereas in the Czech Republic, as you said, you have to pick a major right away. And if you are not happy, then you have to switch the major, start all over again. But here you can still kind of decide when already studying towards the bachelor's degree, which is amazing. And it seems to me holistic approach and the classes that you take is almost like a school of life, like you get the knowledge you need for life, which is amazing.
For sure. Yeah. And I think it's also you know, liberal arts is what they call it, which is sort of, or like, at least that's, you know, my college, it's a small liberal arts school. And there's a lot of those in the US. And it sort of gives you like a broader knowledge for developing like general, you know, life skills, I would say, as you said. And obviously you end up picking a major, but you have a year and a half to do that. For at least we didn't have to pick until the second semester of my second year. And you also get to go to school with people who are studying all different sorts of subjects. So even once you decide what you want to be studying, you're still exposed to all of these other disciplines or other subjects of like study. So
that's cool.
It's really amazing. Yeah. Yeah. And so I'll talk a little bit about how I chose my college. I am really, really interested in languages. I came in knowing Czech and knowing German as well from high school. And then I decided to take on another language, which was Russian. And so I was looking for a smaller school. So Connecticut College only has about like 2,000 students, which is very like one of the even smaller, smaller schools. And I also, like I said, was looking for a place that really valued language study and sort of international experience. And Connecticut College definitely does that. So yeah, like I said, we have a language requirement. So even if you don't want to take a language, you have to take at least 2 semesters of a language here. And for some people, you know, they do that and it was a nice experience, but some people, they start a new language and then they really like it and keep on going with it in college. And it's sort of really important because I think that learning languages in today's world is like very, very essential. But
well, I would like to jump in for Czech students. Please, English is not the language you can pick, you know, like it's
right, yeah.
You have to choose, even though English is for you a foreign language, it doesn't count. So you
right.
choose a different language. And you come from high schools that usually, you know, you had to learn German or French or Spanish. So they would count, but English doesn't count.
Right. Yes. Thank you for that clarification. That is true. You'll get plenty of training in English if you come to school, you know, come to college in the US, because everything will be in English other than a language class you could take. But yeah. And I guess when you're picking your college, so I put so here you can see Connecticut College, which is where I go. I also applied to Middlebury College, which is a college that is very, very well known for its language studies and sort of things in international relations as well. And then there are some bigger schools that I added on here because they're some of the top schools for international relations, which is Georgetown in Washington, D.C., George Washington University and American University. Those are all in the Washington, D.C. area, obviously, because it's the capital. That's where you get a lot of exposure to professional experience when it comes to international relations. But those are much bigger schools, and that really wasn't for me. So I went for a smaller school that had a good program anyway. But also any of the top schools like the Ivy League, like Harvard and Yale, they also have very good international relations subjects. But I was really interested in Connecticut College's program because, like I said, it's a smaller school environment and it was very interdisciplinary. So you can see here the subjects that I need for my international relations major. It doesn't just include politics or government classes. There's also the language requirement. In addition to the all school language requirement, the international relations major has a language requirement as well. I had to take some economics class, a history class, and another social science class. So I took an anthropology class, and also obviously foreign policy and other politics classes. So it really, as much as the entire school takes a holistic approach, I think that colleges, like smaller liberal arts colleges, also take holistic approaches to the majors that they offer. So I got to explore not just government or politics, but also sort of history and social sciences, which I think is really beneficial, because getting sort of, international relations really is part of a lot of different disciplines or areas of study. So
I also see that you have a link, and our viewers wouldn't be able to click on that. So this is how you research schools, or?
Yeah, so I can show you. This is actually just a article from Foreign Policy. And it sort of shows you the best international relations schools in the world. And some of the ones that I included are on here. So yeah, it's on foreignpolicy.com. If you put in the best international relations schools in the world, I'm sure it'll show up for you.
Okay, perfect. And my question would be, oh, my screen just disappeared. Okay, perfect, it's back. Students usually ask me where to look for schools, and I usually recommend either the College Board Big Future website or Peterson's website. But where did you look for international relations schools that you then applied to?
Those are the same ones that I would recommend. Just because those are very good websites. Quick internet searches are also good, but I would recommend going with College Board or Peterson's as well.
Awesome.
Just
perfect.
Yeah. So I'll just go a little bit more into Connecticut College itself. I've really enjoyed my time here. Obviously, when I was applying, I applied to a lot of different places and I didn't know where I was going to end up. So that's just to say that, I think that things do happen for a reason. So if you don't get like your first choice, maybe if you really want to, you'll do well wherever you go. So, Connecticut College has more than 40 majors, so there's a lot to pick from once you do figure out what you really like to do. There's about 2,000 students, as I said. We have a really sort of like a nationally recognized career program, which has been very, very successful and helpful in getting students like very competitive internships, as well as jobs right out of college. We receive career funding of up to $3,500 for getting an internship. There's a program that you have to go through in order to get that funding. They're very helpful with making resumes and all of that. So, along with your studies, you're really getting all the support you need in terms of being successful and finding sort of like the career that you want as you're going forward. Another really interesting opportunity are centers and pathways at our school. So I'm in the Center for International Studies, but there's also centers for environmental studies, centers for the arts and technology, and then centers for race and ethnicity. And those are all sort of ways in which you can apply what you're learning at college in the classroom to like sort of like a real world project. So I obviously am very interested in sort of Eastern Europe, post-Soviet countries, politics and history. So I studied abroad in Kyiv, Ukraine as part of my center. And then I received funding from my center to do my internship in Prague at the Czech National Agency for International Education. Mm-hmm. And then as part of that center, I also get to present at a sort of senior presentation on my thesis. And that all sort of like comes together, like your language study, your study abroad, your internship, all sort of comes together in this one project. And they like really support you as you go through the years. You have to apply to centers. Pathways are different. There's a lot of different ones like entrepreneurship, museum studies, public health. And it's just getting you to think about what you're learning in class and how it really relates to the real world, and how you can sort of, what different ways you can use that knowledge in a career, maybe. But other than academics, we have a lot of different sports teams. We don't have American football at this college. It's too small for that. But some people don't want that, because it's definitely a culture thing. Some people want that American experience, some people don't. And soccer, basketball, squash, sailing. We are right on a river and also near the ocean, so we have really great access to water in both respects. But a lot of different sports. I also I'll talk about that later. But we have a great theater department and a lot of different clubs, a cappella groups, a lot of different like identity groups on campus as well. I think that there's a lot of ways that you can get engaged on our campus, even if it's so small. So that's really
amazing.
great.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But you do live in dormitories, right?
Yes.
There is accommodation for and do you have any international students?
Yeah, we have plenty of, actually have a lot of international students on campus. And we have an international students association. A lot of like two of my best friends, like one of my best friends is from Mexico. And I've gotten to, meeting her has been really great. I've gotten to like go home to Mexico with her and stuff like that. Wow. So yeah, no, definitely connecting with international students on campus is great.
I even like the location. Like, I'm a big New York City fan, so being located between Boston, which is also my love Boston and love New York City. So the placement is beautiful.
No, exactly. I mean, you're not like directly in a city. We also have like an arboretum on our campus. It's like a huge green space of like woods and everything, so you can sort of get lost in the arboretum. We're not in a city, but then you can get on a train to Boston or New York, and it's super easy. So sort of the best of both worlds, in my opinion.
And for traveling, because you guys will be traveling, between the Czech Republic and Connecticut College in this case, it's so easy to land in Boston or at JFK and then travel, right, which is perfect, strategic.
Yes. Yeah. And there's some regional airports as well, but those would definitely be the best international connections. And I've tried both, going back to see my family in Czech. And our mascot is the camel, which is kind of unique.
True, yeah.
Yeah, the one with the CC on it, that's like our sport version of our camel. Like, that's our sport mascot. And then the one below, that's just kind of like another one that we have. There's a lot of different ones. We even have like a person who goes around campus in like a camel suit, like cheering everyone on. So yeah.
Amazing. Well, what I'm pretty sure would be very interesting to our students is the financial aid that you listed on your slide, because that's a very big deal, if the school is supporting international students and if there is any chance of getting a scholarship.
Absolutely. Yeah. So like I said, I have a really close friend who's an international student, and she received a very, very good financial aid package. So Connecticut College does not discriminate based on like whether you're international or not. They really look at your financial situation and make the same judgment that they would make for a US student in that regard. We're not need blind, but we are need aware. And I know that financial aid is like a very big factor. That's also why I chose my specific college, because I can't afford to pay what the US prices for college. It's insane. I will say that. But Connecticut College gives really good aid, both merit and merit scholarships and financial aid. And merit scholarships, as I said here, go between $15,000 and $34,000.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. But the financial aid itself, obviously, you have to fill out some forms, and that's based on your own individual situation. But I have been very, very lucky with Connecticut College, and that's also one of the reasons why I chose it, is because they gave me the most money. So
that's cool. Awesome.
Yeah. So, and happy to answer any questions about where to look for scholarships otherwise in the US. It's a little different for me because I am a US citizen, but I have plenty of friends who have talked me through their process, and I'm happy to help with that. So
yeah, it would be amazing because we in Education USA Czech Republic at the Fulbright Commission, we can help with Czech foundations and finding Czech sources of money. But, with the American side, I usually try to, like search the website at the college, or the university that you're applying to. But if you know any other resources, we would definitely have a different live stream or webinar about financial aid and scholarships. And it would be great if you can share your experience and some tips and ideas, because that is a big.
Yeah, and I can also talk about sort of negotiating offers. That's also part of it. Yeah, no, there's definitely ways in which you can go back once they give you an offer to sort of be like, well, this is like my situation. Can you help me out a little bit more?
Perfect. So all right, let's do that. Yeah.
And so this is sort of just some stats about Connecticut College itself. So I'm a senior, so that's one of the top things that I've loved so much about Con is that I've gotten an unbelievable amount of support from my professors in terms of applying to different scholarships for language programs, but also for graduate programs and everything. So we're one of the top producers for those for scholarships and fellowships. So that really just reflects how much support we can get here. And also this the career funding that I mentioned, our language offerings, and like I said, our career program is amazing, top 20 in North America. Number 4 best schools for internships by the Princeton Review. So
that's really nice. Yay.
Yeah. So there's I'm sure maybe this is probably like one of the first times that you've heard about this college, maybe, I'm not sure, but I think it's a great place to sort of get your education. There's a lot of support, and I've met a lot of amazing people here, so I would only recommend.
That's amazing. Like, thank you for introducing the college where you study. Thank you for introducing international relations, that, the possibilities are amazing. You can travel, you will master another language, which is really, golden in this time. Yeah. And I feel that if students want to study international relations, you showed other universities and colleges as well, which is amazing. They know they can choose from. But consider Connecticut College, because as you see, they're very generous and they're going to be supporting. Emily is there, so yeah. And as I said, she already, and please check out the social media because she did a wonderful takeover. We made it into a reel so you can watch the campus, because I know it's very hard for you to maybe visit and see for yourself, but you can see it through her eyes on our Education USA Czech Instagram account. So watch, and if you have any questions, you can definitely reach out to her or myself, and I'll connect you.
Just one more thing. You can sort of take a look here. I'll just hover over this for a little bit. Some of my favorite classes. This was Power and Inequality, was the anthropology course I took. Second, language acquisition. I actually got to go teach Czech at a local school for elementary school students. So that was really fun. For Global Russian, I got to interview Russian-speaking emigres from different countries that, where Russian is spoken. post-Soviet identity and conflict were the courses I took when I was in Ukraine. And I also got to go to Georgia, Armenia, and Moldova as sort of like case studies of that topic. And I took an acting class because we have like a creative requirement, and that was super fun. I like didn't think I would enjoy it, but I did. And I've also taken a lot of sport classes. It's like you can sort of just like, it's like an elective course. And I've taken skating and squash and tennis and rock climbing, and I think I'm going to be taking sailing, and there's just like a ton of different ones. So there's like so many options. And yeah, so that's really enriched my experience.
Well, I remember that you mentioned that you are a small liberal arts college, but do you do sports scholarships as well? Do you have any like?
Yes, I believe that there are. Yes, I believe that there are. Yeah.
So if you are very passionate about a sport and you would like to combine it at an American college, university, school, feel free to check that out. There are some different divisions, but check out what Connecticut College offers. And, if you can't find it, reach out. There is my email address. There is Emily's email address. So feel free to send us an email, ask us any questions you might have. We will be happy to answer. So Emily, thank you so much. It was,
of course. It was my pleasure.
Yeah, like being you, and it was so refreshing to see someone so passionate about what you study and about your college in general. So that was really nice. So thank you for doing this together. And you guys, I hope you are interested or you get interested about studying international relations. You see that you can travel with this major. And I just hope that maybe some of you have never heard about Connecticut College, and with this live stream, you will check out their website because they seem cool, and go Camels, right?
Go Camels.
All right, so we will be saying goodbye to you, and we will meet again next week for our college essay Q&A. So if you are working on your college essay, please join us, and there will be Andre who will be answering your questions. So thank you.
Bye.
Stop.